Hello, everybody. Okay, so I have done a lot of these Pontification with the Pro series, and you all have heard me talk about this lady, and I have said to my community, and so I want to say to you publicly, Monica, you are my she-ro. I think what you are doing is absolutely amazing. So while my whole focus is on debt-free degree, I oftentimes will have folks ask me, so the G in my GRIT blueprint is grants and scholarships. And they'll say, okay, Dr. Ross, how do you help people find scholarships? 100% of the time, I send them to you. I send them to your website. I send them to your Facebook group. I have both the guides printed out, and I talk about how important that is. You can see that this one, I even have notes in there. I just feel like synergy and synchronicity is important. And yes, I have the head knowledge to be able to do this, but I don't have a Facebook group of tens of thousands of members who are doing this day in, day out, every single day. And so if you could, just to get started, tell us a little bit about you and just how you got started with your scholarship journey.
Right, sure. I love that scholarship journey. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited. It's been about 3 weeks since I've done a webinar. I'm like all ready to do another one. So how did I get started? Let's see. Well, let's jump back in time. Jump back to 2008. 2009, my oldest son was graduating from high school. So that summer 2008, he was right before he became a senior. He started looking at colleges, and I look back now and I'm like, we were kind of late in the game, but I didn't know he was my first one.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've been to college. I didn't really know how, I was supposed to do it. So anyways, he started looking at colleges, and he was looking at MIT in Boston. And at the time it was $60,000 a year. And I was just like, whoa, like, how did this happen? I worked my way through college. Even if kids were working full-time jobs now, they couldn't do it. The college costs had risen so much. So anyways, I said, well, you're a smart kid, whatever, you have a good ACT score, apply for scholarships. Scholarships will pay for school. Yes. Well, he applied for some very early scholarships, October, September, and did not win them. We found out pretty quick. And so I started thinking, oh no, I was panicking. They were middle income. I was staying home to raise my kids. I'm a teacher, but I had 3 kids, staying home to raise my kids, and thought, what are we going to do? I don't want him to have a ton of student debt. There's no way we can borrow $60,000 a year. So I started researching. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So I started researching, what do judges look for in the scholarships? How do you find scholarships? How do you impress the judges? What do you do and what do you not do? Just mistakes that normal kids would make, so we could avoid those. So we came up with this process of partnering, and we had a system. I would find the scholarships. He would write the essays. I would look through his essays and proofread for him. He would ask his teachers for the letters of recommendation. And so we just kind of had this process step by step by step. And then he started winning scholarships. And by the time he had graduated from high school in 2009, he had won so many scholarships, we already had the first year paid for. Yeah, he didn't end up going to MIT. He went to another school, a wonderful school. But anyway, so my friends started saying, you need to write down what you did, because we have no idea what we're doing. I mean, our counselors at our high school are wonderful, but they really focus on the college aspect, helping kids get into college, letters of recommendation, that sort of thing. They didn't focus on scholarship. So I basically just did that. I wrote it down. I published it. It is an ebook. And the main reason, and I get this question all the time, why is it not a physical book? Well, you know why? Because I can update it and republish it and get it out there for my readers really quickly. Whereas if it was an ebook or a regular physical book, it would have been outdated by now. I would have to somehow figure out the whole publishing thing, like as a real book, and do it all over again. And, I was just a mom, stay-at-home mom. We didn't have the money for me to publish a book. So that's why it's an ebook. That's kind of my story. And since then, my 2 other boys have gone to college. My youngest is a senior in college right now. And we have not had to take out any parent loans. It works. And I love helping people. I was doing a blog post right before this on STEM scholarships. And I'm like typing going, I love doing this. I love finding them. I love sharing them. I love what I do. So that's the story.
Ah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. And just to clarify, you have 3 sons, and all 3 of them have graduated with a debt-free degree.
Actually, I'm going to backtrack, because my middle son, he took 7 years to go to college. He took time off. He struggled. His mental health was very important. And so honestly, when he went back to school, which thank goodness he did and graduated, He lost his scholarship. He lost most of his scholarships. So he took some federal loans out. So he has like 1.5 year of federal loans. So my husband and I are completely debt free. One of my sons has some federal loans. So we're just going to, but he went back, he graduated, he's working in his field now, he's 28. End of story. It was very, very hard time. And any of you listening where your kids are just struggling, whatever, their mental health is so important. Please listen to what they need mentally. Yes. Because, I didn't understand at first. I pretty much said, you know what, I worked my way through school, just suck it up and do it. But I didn't understand. And he helped me understand. So
yeah. Well, thank you for clarifying that. But also, one of the things, so I have all these little thoughts in my head that I want to include in this video. The first thing that you said about it being an ebook. So I just took the PDF. So I paid for the PDF, and then I sent it to, like a local, Office Depot, Office Max, whatever, and just had it bound, because I go through here, and I just want you to know I use this all the time, and I credit you with the wisdom, and y'all, there's so much wisdom in there. And so somebody will say, well, should I buy both books? Yes, because as Monica said, it is a partnership, and it is, I believe, entirely too much to expect a high school student to be able to navigate this completely on their own. It's not that it's impossible, because lots of high school students do it, but they do better when there's a partnership. But also, it's not solely on the parents either. And so being able to have these two guides is so important. So one of the questions, one of the pushbacks that I get all the time when I talk about debt-free degree is similar to what you said. You can't work full-time like you used to be able to. And like, I will point out, 40 hours a week is 24% of your week. So you still have 76% of your week. So it is a mindset thing to say, well, you have this amount of time. It's where's your focus? And in many institutions, if you work there, then tuition and fees are free. And so that's something to think about. But what do you say to people who say, applying for scholarships is too hard, it's too time consuming, it's too labor intensive, nobody ever wins it, it's only for blank, and it's whatever the group is that this particular student doesn't fit in, that's who they think all the scholarships are for. So what is your advice to overcoming really that inertia and fear?
Right. And I do hear that all the time. They're wasting time. My son applied for 4,500 scholarships, whatever, and didn't win any. You know what I tell them? There is a better way. There is a better way, and there's a method. I have a lot of kids that say I applied for scholarships, and I ask them and get that right down to it. Did you apply for just the no essay scholarships, where you basically just put in your email address and that's it, and you've applied for a scholarship? We did those. Of course, we did a few of those, but we never counted those as scholarships. What kind of scholarships are you applying for? Did you learn how to write a standout essay? Because the essay is the heart of the scholarship application. And, and if you can write essays, you find scholarships where you make a video. Kids are so tech savvy right now, so they could do that. So you find a better way. You go to your experts, or people who have been through it before, and learn from them. That's what I did. I just spent, a year learning and writing it all down. So you guys can do your own research, do that. Or you can find somebody who's written it all down like I have and use my information. There are so many myths about scholarships. My kid's not smart enough. We make too much money, this and that. There is a better way. And in my group, this is a tough time, because right now kids are applying for scholarship or for college. They're kind of putting scholarships on the back burner. And I keep reminding people, please don't. These early deadline scholarships will have less competition. But it's in the spring where you see all these posts of all these winners of all these scholarships, and then everybody's super excited and whatever, but you need to start early. So find a better way. There is a better way, and start right now.
Yes. And your guides is the best way. It truly, truly is. So when you say start early, how early do you recommend that folks start, and how early is too early?
Okay, well, I don't think it's ever too early. Like my real answer is start right now where you are. Even if your student is a high school senior and you haven't done anything yet, you can start right now. Learn what to do, learn how to help your student, partner together, know the steps. You can each read your own ebook of mine, but it's never too early. There's scholarships for elementary kids out there. There is one of my dads in my group, Mr. Bosma. where he used to send me, and he has his kids are older now, but he would send me kids pictures of his kids with checks, $100, $200, $300 as elementary, middle school students, because he had learned that this was possible. And so he would have his kids apply for scholarships, and they would send me pictures, because when they're younger, these organizations will often just send checks to the students instead of saving it until they go to college. So he'd send me a check of these little girls with these $200 checks. So
Yes.
the scholarships are out there. If you wait until your student is a senior, is it possible? Yes, but it's harder. It is harder on you and your student, because you're going to miss a lot of deadlines. Even like the summer before senior year, kids aren't thinking about scholarships yet, but there's all kinds of deadlines. There's no scholarship season. There's scholarships year round. Yes, there are more available, especially for high school seniors in the spring. But if you wait, you'll have let so many deadlines pass by. So don't wait. Start right now.
Yes, yes. So I love that about elementary school, because normally my advice is you can start as early as middle school. So I haven't really been saying elementary school, so I'm going to amend that and just but just be planting that seed. What would you say is either like your favorite scholarship or the most unusual scholarship? Like what are the scholarships that really are exciting to you?
Well, what are local scholarships? They're super exciting to me. You know why? Because only the kids in your local area will apply for that. So, a big giant Coca-Cola scholarship is awesome, and there's a lot of winners, but you're also going to have thousands upon thousands of applicants. So the ones that excite me is the local credit union, where you might have 200 kids apply. Because you learning from what I do, you can make that application stand out. You learn what the judges like. It's little tiny things like you use part of their mission statement in your essay, align it with one of the values that your student already has and bring it in. Use their name. I mean, there's power in a name. This is kind of off topic, but not really. I had somebody ask me for something last week for money for a charity that's very close to my heart. And they sent me this thing and they spelled my name wrong. And I'm like, oh, I probably will still help out. But darn it, you should look, those little details, yes. Always make sure the name is spelled correctly, the address is correct, what they believe in is correct. So I know I'm going on a tangent here, but my favorite scholarships are local scholarships that there won't be a ton of applicants for.
And so in that same vein, one of the things that I absolutely love, and so if you would just share with our audience, tell us, because I already received them, tell them about the emails that you send.
Oh, okay. So I send out emails. I mean, I am constantly looking for new scholarships. It's just kind of what I do. It's fun for me, which might be weird for you, but it's fun for me. And so every month I send out a list that I have gone through of scholarships that will be, the deadline will be the next month. Like we've already sent out December, even though there's tons in November that kids can still apply for. I'm working on January. I go through the one from last year, I add to it, I make sure those are still open, because sometimes you get a business that will do it 1 year and then they won't do it again, or they change the deadline. So yes, my email list is super, super important. And I have parents say, oh, I don't do email. Well, you know what? You could click to nowhere, I call it, when you type in scholarships in your browser online, and you're going to get, the first 10 hits you get are going to be ads, promoted, sponsored. You just ignore those. And this is what I teach in my ebooks. But my email list, I have gone through every single one of those scholarships. They're not fake. There are a few no essay scholarships. I mean, 2 of my boys won those. So of course I still say to do those, but don't spend all your time doing those. So yeah, you can get on my email list very easily. There's a link on my website or in my group, or
excellent.
Yeah, easy to find. So.
Excellent. So the last question I wanted to ask you about is the essay. And I recently, last week, edited an essay. I am working with a grad student, or a student. Actually, she is about to finish up her master's, and she's applying for a scholarship towards her PhD program. And in there, she said something along the lines of persevering, but she wrote preserving. And then she also was saying something about, now I don't remember the exact phrasing, but she was using the word doubt, D-O-U-B-T, but she had typed double. And so, then, and she had me read over the essay. And those were the two things I found, which of course did not have any red squigglies under it because those are two words. But persevering and preserving are two different things. And double and doubt are two different things. So what are your, I guess, maybe what's your like top essay editing tip?
So my top tip would be, well, this is one that's kind of fun actually, is the student gives the essay to a pair of trusted eyes, an adult, a teacher, an aunt, uncle, whoever they want. That they don't tell them what the essay is about. They just said, read this essay and tell me if you can figure out what the essay prompt or the question is. So the person reads it over and then they tell them. And then I tell the student also, watch them while they're reading. Are they laughing? Are their eyebrows going up? Are they just like, they look really bored? They look confused, whatever. And at the end, ask what the topic is, what they think it was. And if they can provide the right answer, okay, you have answered that question. You've definitely answered the question. Now, if they looked really bored while they were reading and they still got the right answer to the question, maybe they need to jazz it up a little bit. Yes, they answered the question, but it was not that impressive, because you're going to know when something is impressive. You watch somebody read something. And remember, scholarship judges could have hundreds or thousands of essays to read. So you want your essay to be different, exciting, unique. The personality of the student, let that shine through. So that's one way to do it. Also there's little Grammarly. I use free Grammarly on everything that I do. And it will tell you not only if its words are spelled wrong, but if it has the wrong grammar, if it doesn't make sense in that sentence. But honestly, it's not going to catch everything. So proofread. Don't proofread late at night. Your eyes are tired. I tell students, that your brain kind of fills in words that it thinks should be there without you seeing it when you're tired. And so that's why I always tell students, don't ever submit a scholarship application late at night, ever. Don't ever do that. Number one, don't wait till the last minute. If that's the last minute, the websites become overloaded. You may lose all your information. But number two, your eyes are tired. You need to see it with fresh eyes one more time before submitting. So trusted eyes, proofreading.
That's great. That is so great. I also use Grammarly, and I have my PhD. I cannot tell you how many times my little Grammarly friend will say, you don't need a comma there. Remove that comma, because I like commas. I put in a lot of commas and it tells me that. But then every once in a while, it's like, you need a comma here. And I'm like, really? Seriously? So that's where it normally comes in for me. So Monica, how can my community get in touch with you? Can you talk about your website, your Facebook group, and if there are other in addition to those two ways to contact you?
Right, sure. So the best way is my website. It's how2winscholarship.com with the number 2. But you can also type in scholarships, Monica Matthews, 2T and Matthews, 2 T's. My Facebook group is for parents only. It's called Scholarship Help and College Talk for Parents. But I also have a Facebook page that's open to everybody, and that's just How to Win College Scholarships. And, the content's a little bit different. It goes a little bit deeper into the parent group. People can ask questions. They can get feedback from fellow parents. But the page also has a lot of information. But the really best way is my website. People can email me anytime, info@how2winscholarships.com. Okay. And I always answer my emails. You know what? You can even pick up the phone and call me. My phone number is on my website. I mean, I am here for people, especially if you have my information. So, I mean, a little secret that, I probably shouldn't even tell you because a lot of people are listening, but okay, well. So if you have my information, you have my ebooks, and you're struggling and your student is just can't figure out why they're not winning scholarships, send me one of their essays. I will do an essay review at no charge. I love to do that. And usually it's pretty obvious to me why. And then I have parents say, oh my gosh, it was just this. It was the focus, or it was this, whatever. So I do that for people. And it's what I love to do. So, I mean, this is what I do now. I mean, I'm an empty nester, sort of. He comes and goes, our senior, but this is what I love to do. So.
Wow. Well, you are such a rock star. I adore you. And I am so delighted that we have connected. I'm so delighted that you've been so generous with our Patreon community. And now when folks say, well, who is this Monica Matthews? Like when I'm recommending your stuff, I'm going to say, go to that video and watch it because it's amazing. So Monica, as I said, you're a rock star. I really appreciate you. I just want you to share with our audience too, how many members do you have in your Facebook group right now?
We're almost at 31,000.
Isn't that astounding? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was thinking if it was, I was hoping to be 31,000 by Halloween. We didn't quite make it, but we're super close. But whatever, I don't care the numbers. It's just
yes. But I think when I recorded a video back in May, that in May of 22, if y'all are watching this much later, I think it was at 17,000 then. So it is almost double.
It's really growing. It's
Then.
really
So,
growing.
yeah, and that's the beauty of you know, really exponential growth and the value that you provide. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your wisdom and expertise. And thanks for agreeing to this interview. I appreciate you.
All right. You are very welcome. It was fun.
Thanks, Monica. Bye-bye.
Yeah, goodbye.